thing we're going to do is build a rack for the Volkswagen engine on the back of the motorhome. And this is where the bumper originally went, obviously. We took that off, and then just slide these guys in here. One there. And one here. Make sure that they stick out the same amount, 27 inches there. And then what? 27 inches here. Okay. Good. Then we're going to put 2 bars across on which to hold the motor. The Volkswagen engine will sit here with the transmission facing in there, and on the other side of the wall will be the alternator. So I think this is strong enough to take the weight of an engine. That's going to be, yeah. And also on here we're also going to be putting the Volkswagen engine there. We're going to extend this to here, and we will put a DC motor here to turn the alternator as well. Doodah. Then of course, once these are in here, there's a couple of holes in the chassis tubing here, and I've just marked them through the holes, and this lets you know where to drill holes. And then we'll put a bolt through it to stop these guys coming out. Of course, the next thing is to clean all this, to clean the grease off it. And then we're going to paint them and weld them. And even though this is just going to be like a rack to support the engine, it will be visible on the back of the motorhome, so it's well worth cleaning it up, you know, just clean off those rough edges. And so also we're going to paint it, which is also a good idea. With a coat of paint it'll stop corrosion. Look at this. Get fancy, get fancy. When I'm spray painting, what I noticed a while back actually, so I do a relatively lot of spray painting, is once you've got the object painted, you end up with the shape, and sometimes you start getting a really interesting image. And if you keep putting things on top, spraying different colours, you get what I call incidental art. And I love my incidental art. Now, next, once you've got your edges all cleaned up on both sides, then we can paint this. But before painting it, you have to take the grease off, you know, with some kind of degreaser. I use gasoline. It's great. Takes the grease off anything. Right, and then once that's done, you put a few coats of paint on and you're laughing. Well, you might not be laughing, but you'll be painted. Look at this. Oh, yeah. As seen on TV. And this paint adheres to pretty much any surface, so I think it should be alright. This is the instrument cluster, or the instrument panel from the Winnebago LeSharo. And of course, I'm not going to have a fuel gauge, but I'm going to still use that same gauge, and I'm going to put the word amperes on the top here, and probably put some you know, numbers as a reference as to how many amps that we're using. And I've had to cut out the traces that go across to the fuel gauge. So I'm going to put a jumper here. I've just bared the tracer there. Bared that tracer, and we'll solder a jumper there, and then I can put the fuel gauge back through these holes. There's 3 holes altogether, and it will not touch. And here is the instrument panel. And where the gas gauge was, I put a different scale on there measuring 0 to 120 amps and put a little amp sticker on there so I'll know what I'm looking at. And then you apply a little bit of power and there you go. So the meter seems to be running alright, and that says 9, so I'm going to put it to 120 amps. I also salvaged a light bulb in this line of indicators here, and then I've ran 2 leads, cut the traces, ran 2 leads, and that's going to go to the main power switch for the contactor for the alternator, where the power is coming into the variable speed drive, or VFD, variable frequency drive. But anyhow, so when we turn on the switch, just be low voltage switch, this light will come on to let me know that we have power in a complete circuit, and then just switch it off, switch it on, easy. Well, I don't believe it. I finally got a forklift motor. Look at the size of this bugger, it's quite large. This is 17 inches long by about 12 inches diameter. And it says 8 kilowatts on the nameplate, but that must be at 48 volts continuous. We'll need more than that, but I'm sure that this will go much faster at a high voltage and create more kilowatts. And here is the DC motor speed controller unit, which also may be a charger. I haven't looked at it yet. I just dug it out of a forklift in a forklift yard this afternoon, and I'm so happy. This is the back of the motorhome, and because it's such an old vehicle, 1985, it has incurred some water damage down here. Look at this. Up, up, up. Holy hole. So what I'll do is I'll cut out the rot and fix it. My only question is, Winnebago, why would you use wood inside of a wall when you know eventually it's going to get wet? Come on now, you guys, you're good designers. I think we should have some kind of plastic or foam in there instead of wood. Stripping out the wood rot, stripping out the wood rot, stripping out the wood rot. It's not good enough for me. Look at the state of this. Oh, guess what? Winnebago. They did put foam behind here. That's a good thing. So, oh look at that. Came off perfectly. So that's a great thing. Good job, Winnebago. I thought you just put... So look at that. So that's good. So on the back wall here you can see that they had foam coming down so far and then stopped, and they put a piece of wood here. What on earth is going on? Anyhow, the object of the exercise is I removed this 1x4 from the bottom, which is totally rotted out and very wet because we've had a lot of rain lately. And I'm going to replace that with something, I'm not sure what yet, but we will replace it and continue on, get the alternator in. Well, if the water runs in on the inside, it has to happen, and that's how it's going to come out. I'll just drilled a hole. Just drilled a hole in here, just to let the water get out. Can you see that? It's an egress for the water. See that white light, that white hole there? That's where the water's going to run out of, should it find its way back in. Of course, I'm going to be forever cleaning out water from inside the motorhome unless I seal it from the outside. And the only way we're going to seal it is by cleaning off all the moss and dirt and then putting in some new caulking. There, you know, this is exposing holes and all kinds of stuff when you go around with a little wire brush. So that's the answer, apparently. Don't forget round the back.